Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 list. This week's top 10 list is coming to you from Las Vegas. And of course, if I'm in Las Vegas, you know what that means. I got singles. These are my singles that I collected while I was there. And yeah, there's more on the bottom there. Anyway, I've got over 4,000 singles here that I'm going to be going through when I get home. And yeah, I have my handy dandy little carrying case for those. Anyway, this week's top 10 list is going to be well, I found it interesting when I was here. Anytime I found something, I set it aside. And these are my top 10 pocket change finds while I was in Vegas. I thought it was interesting just because I didn't know how many things I'd find while I was out here. This is not from searching. This is simply from making change, cashing in chips, cashing in tickets, getting change from the restaurants, stuff like that. So without even trying, this is what I accomplished. All right, number 10. I tell you guys in the past that I do not spend $5 bills. I put those aside. That's part of my eccentric savings account. You start with a strap of singles, that's $100. Every time you get a 5, you put 1 5 in there and then take out a single. That way there's still 100 notes. But by the time you've replaced all of the $1 bills, you now have 100 $5 bills. In other words, you've just turned 100 into 500. So in Vegas, you tend to get a lot of $5 bills. I tried not to spend them, but sometimes you just have to because of the number of 5s you get. Vegas doesn't give out $10 bills very much. They're more likely to give you 2 5s. But number 10 on my list, I managed to pull 28 $5 bills just from circulation. That's quite a few notes for a week and a half's time. So that's number 10 on the list. Number 9. Now, I always would go through all of the singles that I would get in change. Like I said, not the singles that I got from the cage, but just my pocket stuff. And number 9 on the list, well, here's a note that's a little older. This one's from 1995. I looked, it's not a web note, not in the greatest of shape, but it is one of the older notes that I found as far as stuff from change. So that's number 9 on my list, an older 1995. Number 8. Number 8 on the list. This one is a trinary. You can see here you've got 4s, 5s, and 7s. So I did find a trinary out in the wild. Like I said, without hunting straps, I was able to come up with this one. So I will put this in my group of trinaries when I get home and see if it's a match. That is number 8, 10, 9, number 8. Number 7 on the list. Having this many $5 bills, you know I had to encounter a $5 star note. So here is a $5 star. 2013, I did look it up. It is from a normal print run. It's not a rare star. It's just a regular star, but still a regular $5 star note. So that one's number 7. And unfortunately, number 6 is also the same. Number 6 is also a star note. This one also same year, 2013. No, the stars aren't filled. It was interesting, though, that the 2 star notes themselves, when you look at the serial numbers, are fairly close together. 066 and this one's 068. I thought that meant they might be rare. No luck. All right, so that is, what was that, number 7 and number 6. Number 5 on the list. While I was looking through the different machines, I noticed that one machine had something sticking out of it. And I looked, and this was sticking out of a slot machine. It's a $1 bill. It's kind of raggy, and it's got a bunch of creases in it. But you can see that it's from 1963. There was a 1963B, 1963B bar note sticking out of a slot machine. The slot machine wouldn't take it because of the condition of the building. Condition of the bill, not the building. The condition of the bill, it wouldn't take it, so the person just left it there. So I found a 63B bar note just hanging out of a slot machine. So I thought that was an unusual find. So that is number 5. Number 4. You go through a lot of $100 bills when you're in Vegas. And I, of course, found my share of notes like this. Now, there's nothing fancy about the serial number. There's nothing fancy about the note. It's a regular $100 note with 2 exceptions. They have these little counter stamps here. Now, when you're in Vegas, you're going to encounter this more often than anywhere else, it seems. But those little counter stamps indicate that a foreign bank has checked to make sure that this bill has not been counterfeit. So this $100 bill is a world traveler. It's been to at least 2 other different countries. Every country uses their own little stamp just to verify. And they don't necessarily stamp all the notes. They may just stamp the top note in the strap that they verify. So that is number 4, a world $100 bill, I guess you could call it. Number 3 on the list. I gotta adjust my position here. Now, I don't travel to Vegas with a bunch of money. I simply put it in a bank, and when I get to Vegas, I can go to the bank and withdraw it. That way I don't have to carry it all around. Well, when I was at the bank getting my money, they gave me one of these. This is a 1990 $100 bill small head. You don't see a whole lot of these in circulation, but because I made the effort to go to the bank to get my money and told them what I do, they were able to pull one of these out for me. So that was kind of cool. 1990 $100 small head. Number 2 on the list. When I was downtown, I had a feeling that a particular casino wasn't going to give me 100 singles. So when I was at the cage, they said, well, we can give you 50. And something told me, you know, I'm going to take the 50 singles, but give me a $50 bill with it. And so they did. And I happened to get a $50 bill. That's a star note. So that was a pleasant surprise. I don't know what told me to do it, but I ended up asking for the 50, and that's what they gave me. Unfortunately, it's not a rare. It is a common note, but it is of only 3.2 million. So even though it's not rare, it's not a highly produced note, and it's a $50 bill with a star. You don't see that very often. So I thought that was a very cool pocket find. And finally, number 1 this week. This was amazing. I already told you guys in Vegas, they don't use $10 bills. You always seem to get 5s. It's so rare to get a $10 bill. But on one particular occasion, I was getting a payout, and they did hand me a $10 bill. This one. Look at it. It's a Radar 64344346. The numbers read the same forward and back. 64344346. I got a Radar $10 note in Vegas. I mean, how's that for something you're just not supposed to end up with? So that was easily the coolest find that I had here out on my trip. And I still have 4,000 singles to go through. This was just simply stuff from my pocket. All right, guys. Don't forget, when you're on vacation, do the same thing. Set aside all your little finds, and you never know what you're going to come up with. Sometimes you'll end up with a gem like this one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.